Okay, next category is faith.
Yeah.
What did you order versus what did you get? So we can get specific. Like, what did you think my faith was going to look like? And what did you think our joint faith experiences were going to look like before we married versus now?
I think I this one was one very clear on it. There was no assumptions. I think maybe that's why when we have this conversation, I say like, why did you get married and why did I get married? And I said married for impact, and you said you're married for companionship. That's one of the funniest things. When you impact on the faith level in terms of alignment of purpose, vision.
Yeah.
So obviously, in terms of seeking God, praying, one of the most fulfilling things for me has been serving together in church.
Yeah.
But just life together. Last year, going for Sound of Revival.
Yeah, that was
and
fun.
Serving together.
Yeah.
Like just literally serving on the same team.
Yeah.
Literally, someone was like under the power of God, and we were holding. I was holding the leg. You were holding the. We're just serving as on the prayer team, and then also as emergency ushers because they needed help on the ushering team.
Yeah.
And it's like, are we leaders in our own ministry? Yes, but the opportunity to serve in other contexts in the wider front, so it was amazing. So I think on that side, the opportunity to pray together, the devotions that we've done with marriage and on other frequently, intermittently, the ones we do here and there, and the opportunity to discuss, the opportunity to preach together and do ministry together, opportunity to discuss, even debrief Sunday sermons, driving back home.
Yeah.
There's a jointness about that in many ways, I miss that when we don't get to do it. I don't miss that when I don't get to talk to you about Sunday sermons and how things went. Or I miss when I'm not able to serve with you, because for me, it's a vital aspect of how I show up in ministry. When I got married, I accepted and I was looking forward to doing ministry with you. That was always something that was on the core. And it was very important in terms of my choice of, it was at the forefront of my mind. I didn't make assumptions about that. That one I did enough of my due diligence to have the confidence to say, okay, this is someone I can run with. So yes, in that way, what I expect and what I got has been amazing.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. There's
so on par.
Consistency. No, I wouldn't even say on par. I think it's hard to say on par because it's always unfolding. But I would say what I expected has manifested, and it's blossoming even more than that. So, but yes, there's just a joy that, because I'm seeing things that God knew by bringing us together, but obviously I did not know. But it's like, someone's like, if you keep going forward on that street, you will see something really nice.
Yeah.
So you know something really, but you don't know exactly how it, and then like, I thought it would be one thing, but then there's this nice one too. So on that aspect, it's been really, really good.
Oh, look
really
at you.
Exciting.
It's giving love. What I ordered versus what I have a little bit of a different take on this.
I mean, I would say this final listen. I would have loved it if you joined me more for the intense prayer nights, but you tend to sleep through that. God is good.
Oh yeah, because it starts at midnight.
Yes,
my bedtime is
3 a.m.
Yeah,
powerful time.
But I join you. I mean,
occasionally,
once a month.
Occasionally, yeah.
I used to join you once a month,
yes,
until recently. And those were fun. I really like doing those with you once a month. They're actually really, really nice. It's fun. I like doing that with you. Okay, so for me, from a faith perspective, I think things like praying together, reading the Bible together. I probably had those expectations, but because of all the videos and stuff that you watch of Christians online, they kind of warn you in advance that this person might have a different devotional life than you do, and trying to combine it puts excessive pressure on your marriage.
Yeah.
And so I think that was an expectation I had to let go of, in terms of like both of us reading our Bible at the same time, reading the same chapter, and doing that. And I'm actually perfectly fine with that, because I think how both of us express ourselves to God is so different that if we try to merge that on a daily basis, it would just be too much. And I'm okay with that. Like managing the schedules, managing interests, managing how we want to read the Bible and all of that, it seems difficult. So there's probably people that do it, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So that's in terms of like faith expression. In terms of service together, I think what's been interesting to me is, in my mind, it's always been me and my husband sitting like some random middle pew in church. I don't think I ever envisioned marrying a pastor. And it's very crazy to me.
But I was a pastor when you got
I
married.
know, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's not like you became a pastor before. You were literally in school preparing to be a pastor. But I think
I was a pastor when we got married.
And then when we got married, you were full on pastor. Yeah. Exactly. No, when I met you, you were preparing to become a pastor. And when we got married, you were already a pastor. That's what I'm trying to say. There was no deceit here. I knew that that's what you were working towards. But I think how I thought that would be expressed versus what ended up being our reality are two different things. I think I thought, because at the time you were like an associate pastor, and that was already hard. But it was manageable for me. And for some reason, I had it in my mind that you'd be like an associate pastor and then you would go teach.
Because I was doing my doctorate.
Because you were doing your doctorate.
Yeah.
And that would be our lives.
Yeah.
When you became a senior pastor, that has thrown me for a loop that I still haven't adjusted to, because there are just demands, expectations that there are of you that I just didn't envision or think about, and that I'm still working through. So that's how I would say faith impacts us. And I think even like crisis moments, there's way more people calling you during crisis moments now than when you're an associate pastor. And, you don't want to be that jerk that's like, oh, we're eating dinner, but this person's having a crisis. Call them later. So you kind of have to find that balance of putting your feelings on the back burner when appropriate, but also insisting on certain things when appropriate as well. And finding that balance is very hard, because I know, like, for example, last week you were on a very hard call, but you had to go to a wedding.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, we were already about an hour late and I didn't want to be any later, but the call you were having was important. So I told you to wrap up, but I felt bad because it was an important call. You know what I mean? It's hard. Or there's times when you have to do certain things during a time that we're supposed to be spending together.
Yeah.
And so it's always trying to see, at what point do I tell you you need to cut back, and at what point do I set you free to do what you're expected to do?
Yeah.
But I also think that has had an impact on my own personal faith as well, because my faith expression, there's a lot of things that feel more forced, not forced, but mandatory.
Yeah.
That are not natural to me. That if I'm being honest, I just do because that's the expectation. And I don't thrive serving God based on what people expect. I thrive doing it out of like my own personal talents and gifts and callings. Yeah. And so I try my best.
What feels forced?
Like, there's sometimes, because in church, as an example, every week, it's very nice. There's like a 5-minute section of the service where you just go greet everybody and talk to everybody and all of that.
Yeah.
And some days
3 minutes.
3 minutes, but it ends up being 5, let's be honest.
Okay.
Some days I'm happy to do it. Other days I just wish I was a nobody. Because then when I hug, like, a lot of the people that I connect with at church are like younger, but then I can see that like it's weird to the older people. So then I have to make sure that I'm hugging all the different generations of the congregation, or like I'm.
Why do you think it's weird to the older people?
Not weird, because I can see them trying to have a conversation with me when I'm having a conversation with somebody else, and I know that they might take it personally that I'm not talking to them and things like that. You think so? I think so. I think some people take things personally.
Does that bother you?
I mean, to an extent, yes. Like, it doesn't feel like a big expectation, right? Yeah. So it's just like, okay, I guess I gotta do this. Or sometimes I'm actually just in a bad mood. I don't want nobody greeting me, and I just want to cry and be with the Lord. But then, if people see me crying for a 2-hour service, I'm sure they'll come to me and be like, Pastor, is your wife okay? You know what I mean? Whereas before at our old church, I could cry for the whole service and maybe 1 or 2 people would notice. But if I cried for a whole service now, there would be a lot more people who would notice, right? Or like I could just be having a bad day and say, oh, hello, pastor's wife, come meet this person. And I'm having this whole conversation that I'm really not in the mental space for.
Yeah.
So that's been an interesting thing in terms of like my faith expression in service. And I think there's things I would like to do with you, like evangelism, going on a missions trip, and all of that would have probably been more possible if you had a regular job, quote unquote, as opposed to now. I know that those seasons will still come.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like. I think I envision marrying a guy that like was working outside of the church, even if it's ministry outside of the church or in the corporate world. I don't think I envision marrying a senior pastor, and all of that happened while we were in marriage, and I've kind of had to adjust to it. So I think that's one big one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough because it's one of those things where it's like it's a journey when you're walking with God in a journey, and there are certain things. It's like for most of my life, even at the pinnacle of serving, the only time I was like top person was chapel prefect, and the rest of it, vice president, foundation school principal, like different roles, associate. So it's like I'd always branched off and done different things. So in that way, and sometimes God prepares you by not, you do the number 2 for a while before you do the number 1. And that's just how he works with you in terms of number 2, in terms of second chair leader before you then step into that primary chair. And I think one of the things that I would say to just all you're saying is there's a lot of life by God's grace that we have
ahead
to
of
live.
us. Yeah.
And there will be opportunities to step in. And it's a journey, because when you talk about showing up sometimes and not being in the mood, like if you could only imagine the mental space that I have to be in.
Almost every day.
Yeah. Just at any point in time. Just at any point in time. So, I mean, it's so funny. The example of going to Bestco to pick up stuff for my mom that I was seeing on Sunday. So I was like, okay, let me go get it on Friday. Just jumped in the car, nice casual Friday evening. My windows are a bit down, just driving and relaxed. My face is not smiling, I'm frowning, but once again, I don't need to smile driving the car. It's like, it's not a performative task. I'm not performing for an audience. But then I see someone keep looking at me and I'm like, what's going on? This person keeps staring. I'm like, we're both driving. He's on the other lane. And then he starts waving. I'm like, no, I'm not going to wave back. This is strange. Then he shouts, Pastor. And that's when I'm like, all right, it will be really hard to drive on now and not see anything. So I look again and like, oh, I know him. He's on the ushering team. But how are you doing? And then all of a sudden, I don't just have to look back. I have to smile. And then I have to engage in the conversation while we're both on different lanes. And it's like, I see you on Sunday. God bless. See you. God bless you. And so that's just the random. So at every point in time, there's a part of you that's like, we're ready to step up into that role at any point in time. Even when you're just like, I'm just trying to have a nice chill evening. So in that way, it's just a joint. Like, it's not something that even for me, I had this blueprint of this is how. Of
course, yeah.
So, but it's learning. And I think the one thing I try to do, and it's one of the things that's very clear in my head, was to protect you from having to jump into unnecessary performative ministry tasks, rather than things that are natural to you. So I was very intentional about it, and I still am to this day. There are things that even if I have to ask you to do it, I make sure you know it's an appeal.
Yeah, absolutely,
and not a demand.
Yeah, no.
And so
exactly.
no, and I'm not saying you're saying anything contrary. It's just. But I'm aware of that because I think it's good to do ministry out of a place that's natural and you want to thrive in. It's just, there is the ministry side of what we've been called to do.
Yeah.
But there's also the pressing the flesh side, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like the social side. The social side, the side that just goes with the territory, comes with the territory, and that side is not always easy to navigate. And so it's been a learning curve.
Yeah, and I think I try to keep it to like, I know before I'd have been like 100%, I only do things I want to do.
Yeah.
But now I think my quota is 70-30. 70, mostly things that come naturally to me. And 30, going through, doing what I gotta do to do what I gotta do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's it.
It's good. Yeah.
I think because we've already talked about money in our previous episode, the final category that I have is in-laws.
Okay, let's talk about money for 2 minutes if we can. Just 1 or 2 things.
Are we able to talk about?
Yeah, just one briefly. My expectation was, we would spend, the finances were coordinated and all that. And that happened as well. It's just been interesting to see that at the end of the day, when it comes to spending habits, you kind of have to shock yourself back into, it's like, oh, that's just how we're wired. Because it's like we have the allowances we give ourselves to make sure we're not in every dime that we're spending. But at the same time, it's like everybody has their proclivities. I like to get a new outfit every now and then.
Quite often.
No.
Prince be giving me the new outfits I'm like, I ain't seen that shirt before. And he's like, yeah, I bought it from Winners the other day.
Yeah, so once again, it's my I don't go out of my quota.
It doesn't look flashy, but he liked the clothes. He really liked the clothes. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't go out of my quota. I spend within that.
Yeah.
But then there's Dami with Uber Eats and just good food. Dami's a foodie. She loves good food. So
yes, exactly.
If
you won't take me out to the city to eat the food, I bring the city to me.
All right.
What can I say?
But that's that. So that's been interesting, and I think it's once again the allowance we've given ourselves has been helpful. But it's also working with each other from a place that's non-judgmental.
Yeah.
And trying to make sure that we stay consistent and focused on our goals.
Yeah.
While also giving each other room and grace, so that at no point in time does it feel like it's not a safe space in the marriage to bring up issues with finances.
Yeah.
So,
and I think we said this in another episode. It flows out of the relationship that we have.
Yeah.
And I just feel like because there's a lot of transparency and communication in our marriage, I'm able to trust you with money as well. And trust me, like even money that we put together, I trust that you won't just withdraw it all one day and disappear. And if you did, good riddance, sir.
There are systems in place for that not to happen.
No, if you're planning to just make sure you do it in the next 5 years, don't do it when I'm 70. Do it while I still actually have energy to work.
But there are systems in place. That's what it means. It's not as easy to just up and go for both of us.
Yeah, so Tangerine won't let you remove
it. You can take your own personal stash that you put away, which is not much, but the one that's central, no.
Yeah, no.
You don't get to up and go with that. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's do the final category.
In-laws.
Yeah. What did you think in-law life was going to... I can start this one.
Mine is short.
What's yours? Yeah, okay, you can go.
Didn't have much expectations.
Chris, what did you expect? What did you have
I'm being honest.
You
asking. I didn't have much expectation. I just came... You know what? My expectation was we'd just have a lovely relationship. It would be natural, nothing forced, nothing crazy, nothing too... Yeah, and you know what? And I take that from my relationship with your younger sister, Toyo. So it's like, it's natural. We connect. There was no part of it from the moment where we first met. It took time, but everything about it was not forced. I can rely on her and ask her for stuff, but there was no part of it that was, I'm asking you because you're my wife's younger sister, or she's making demands of me. No, she just gets to do that every once in a while as her brother-in-law, but it's been natural to that point. So I just thought every one of those would be that way, and that's just kind of where... And the reality of it is, in certain aspects, yes, it is. In other aspects, there's just things that I've had to do. Once again, like you said, certain aspects that I've had to step up and do, not necessarily because I want to do it. It just comes to the territory.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
Can I go on a rant?
Okay, go ahead.
When it comes to in-law relationships.
Yeah.
I think I might take this back a few years from now. I think it's a little bit of a dumb invention.
It's a dumb invention?
Okay. I think the Lord invented in-law relationships. I shouldn't say it's dumb.
Okay.
The expectations around in-law relationships are a little crazy.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about it this way?
Mm-hmm.
I have my mom that I grew up with, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm going British for this a little bit. Is it working out?
I don't know.
In it?
I don't really have anyone from the UK listening, so... If you're going to do an accent, maybe do German.
Okay, no, I can't do that. I have a mom, yeah?
Yeah.
I have this huge bond with my mom.
Yeah.
If my mom and I disagree, we go at it. And you've seen us go at it for a while.
Yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable, but sure.
But very often, it's resolved that day.
Okay.
My mom remembers I'm her daughter whom she loves.
Yeah.
I remember this is my mom whom I love.
Yeah.
And we're able to resolve pretty quickly.
Okay.
Even if I say things that,
uncomfortable.
Yeah, that are uncomfortable, or that some other older people would think is like disrespectful. And same thing what my mom would say to me. And so to then expect anybody, and I think it's the same thing for you as well, for me to then expect you to esteem my mom the same way you esteem your mom, it's a little crazy, because there's no bond. I don't think most of the parent relationships that work when you become an adult, where you're close and you have a meaningful relationship, comes from a place of a bond. If not, you just do the things you're obligated to. You call, you send money, and all of that, right? But if you're talking about a close parental relationship, it's from a bond that has been built from when you were a child. And so to expect that level of deference, respect, relationship, and all of that from somebody that you technically just met is a little crazy. And then the concept of calling the person mom, that is, to me, I'm like, there's only one person in my life who has sacrificed and done everything and therefore deserves the title of mother.
Well, just hold on a bit. On the mom part, is there really any expectation that you call your in-laws mom?
I think in a lot of... What else would you call your in-law? Or what else would you call your in-law? You can't call her auntie.
Well,
you can't call...
okay, let's go.
I can't say Prince's mom.
Let's jump into the Nigerian context, right?
You can't call them auntie.
I don't call your mom.
You call her mommy ma.
Yes, it's a term of...
Yeah, exactly, because it's icky to say mom to my mom, isn't it?
No, that's not why. I could easily just say ma.
I would have the... ma, yeah.
I think ma is what people use. That's what I think. But honestly, the reason why I use mommy ma for your mom is because it's a term of endearment. It's actually, it doesn't make sense. There's an English word for it. That combining those two things is absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I can do that because it's a way of endearment, and she's gotten used to it.
And
now.
I found mama for your mom. That's because I don't call my mom mama. I call my mom.
So yeah, but in terms of if you call my mom ma, I think I get it, yes, but to go with the whole endearment of mom.
But a lot of people do call their in-laws mom.
I guess they do.
Or dad.
I guess they do.
That is crazy to me.
All right, fair enough.
Sorry.
No, fair enough. That's fair.
This is the issue. I've struggled with the concept so much. Like, it just is hard because it's the same thing. Like, the relationship doesn't have the infrastructure for you to treat this person like your mom fully, and for this person to treat or for the mom to treat you as a daughter. And same thing for you, right? Like, I don't think it makes sense for my mom. My mom doesn't call you son. She just calls you Prince.
Yeah.
She doesn't say my son, because like, in as much as she loves you, that bond isn't there yet. Say 10 years down the line, it might feel more natural to call my mom because, she's helped us with our kids, as an example. Or, we went through hard times and she was there for us, or she helped us out. You know what I mean? When that bond is built, it might feel more natural for you to call her that. Or if for some reason she starts living with us. Same thing with your mom. Right. And so like, I feel like the expectations that society places on you when it comes to in-law relationships is really crazy to me. So what I ordered versus what I got. What I ordered was, I'm marrying Prince, and then he has all these people in his life that he loves, and I'm going to do my best. What I got is a slew of expectations that comes from society and from myself and from the other side.
Yeah.
That I was not prepared for. And the worst part? The worst part is in-law, you go for premarital counseling with your spouse to be, but you don't do that with your in-laws, right? I think you have the same thing where like, there's all these expectations that my mom will have that just seems like, what? I've never heard of this before. But how would you have? Because there wasn't a conversation that was had about expectations beforehand. We're all just like, going with the flow. You try some things, it works. Other things, it burns. And then you adjust and you keep it pushing. Whereas in any other relationship, there would already have been a conversation about expectations, reality, and all of that. You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot, the expectation sometimes overrides the natural cause of the relationship.
Yeah.
Because I think any relationship, even our relationship, we learned what worked for us
and
what did not work. And every one of them was not just by, let's state our expectations on paper now.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you like and what do you not
That's
like?
true.
Some of those things that we learned about each other was, I tried something, you didn't like it, like I don't like, and then I know, okay, that's not something I need to.
That's true.
If I speak this way, it's not helpful for you. Same thing, you're like, okay, no, that's not really, doesn't communicate the kind of values I want to communicate to Prince, so I would change that.
Yeah.
So we learned it by virtue of growing to know each other, and that just is something that every relationship should have. But sometimes there's heavy pressure on, just like you're right, placing certain, like jumping certain steps.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think you skip steps. It feels unnatural. I think what people expect on day one probably is something that only comes naturally by year 5.
It takes even longer.
And sometimes year 10. And so I think it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful. What I ordered was, I really thought I was going to marry somebody that would have like 3 siblings, because I have 3, and then a mom and a dad. What I got was you literally only have two, your mom and your sister. And I have to be very honest, I'm very grateful to God because I can't imagine having to manage a relationship with 4, 5, 6 siblings and all of that, and uncles and aunties that we go to their house all the time, because all of your uncles and aunties, none of them live here. A lot of them are abroad, so we only see them once a year, and that's like easier to manage. But I can't imagine if your entire family was here, plus you had a huge immediate family. I think just managing in-law relationships would take so much more energy out of me, but just two is quite manageable for me. So I'm very grateful for that.
I think it's one of those things you because for me, I don't think my relationship with every member of you, because you have 3 siblings.
Yeah, and then my mom. Yeah.
And your mom. So I don't think with every relationship, and then you have one of your siblings is married.
Yeah.
So
and then with the husband and the kid.
And the kid. So that's so it continues to grow.
Yeah.
Same things when other siblings get married and kids come in, or just whatever life looks like for them, and there are other people in their lives, friends, like close bonds, it just continues to grow.
Yeah.
So you know someone who knows someone by virtue of it. And the relationship is not all at the same level, but the one thing I try to do, and I give myself a lot of grace, this is an area like I push in a lot of areas, but this is, when it comes to relationship, I really believe in slow burn. Like you build. You don't rush too quickly. And I think for me, it's not on the same level with everyone, but I put my best foot forward. I try, when I learn this is helpful for someone, that this should be good, I try and do it. I make the occasional calls. I could probably be making more calls. And so when I'm reminded, I try and do it. It's not perfect, but I try as much as possible whenever I can to put my best foot forward, because it might not be a strength area for me, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't do better.
I agree.
Keep growing in that area.
I agree.
But I don't go to bed feeling like I've disappointed anyone. I just don't take that, because I know how much it's taking time to build the relationships that I enjoy naturally. That someone texts me is like, "How are you doing? Let's connect." That doesn't require, and I just know that I will come out of that hangout time refreshed.
Yeah.
It took years to build. So I don't deceive or just beguile myself that I can just build that with in-laws just because, by virtue of the fact that we now have this common bond, by virtue that the family member is married to me. I think it's just it's a bit too high of a jump to make. So for me, I give myself grace. I know society has a way of, but I give myself grace, and I understand that the other aspect of it that helps me is I work with the scriptural aspect of it, where I try as much as possible to love them just as God calls me to love them, and the whole understanding of this is family, and I still have a responsibility, even if I can't do everything they want me to do, but loving them well as best as I can is not something that happens.
Exactly, but that love needs to be what makes sense for Prince. But unfortunately,
makes
society
sense for me, but also makes sense for them. Where we can meet in the middle.
Exactly. I
can't just be calling anybody randomly at midnight and say, "But I'm sleeping." Say, "This is when I want to call you."
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true. That's when I'm available.
Say, "Well, call me at so time." If I decide I'm not doing that, then that's so.
Yeah. See, I had a fun time doing this episode with you.
Yeah.
I like being married to you, Prince. Happy 3-year anniversary.
Happy 3-year anniversary. Did you think of the 3-year anniversary when you took
No, I didn't. But I'm just a genius, bro. What can I say?
It was a really good episode.
Yeah, it's a good episode. I had fun too.
Helpful.
And see, we don't have to do this reflection now. We just did our personal reflection with the world, for the world to see. Search my heart. What can I say? Do you have anything else to say before we wrap up?
Well, I think it's a beautiful journey. There's good times, there's difficult times, and we're navigating all of that.
No, not bad times, hard times.
Hard times, so difficult times.
Yes.
So we're navigating through all of that. But the one thing I'm thankful for is just the commitment to keep going.
Yeah.
To wake up each morning and say, okay, what can we do to support each other and to love each other better each day? I think that commitment is helpful to push through a lot of things. And I'm very thankful to God too, because in many ways, He has been the one sustaining us.
Yeah.
I don't think we're perfect in any way in terms of what we do. We just learn, we grow, and we give each other grace, because there's no perfection yet, just opportunities to grow and get better.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that I'll just say 2 things to wrap up. Like, very quickly in marriage, you learn that if you're trying to build a bear, if you're trying to change the person, it's a very futile effort. And so you have to sometimes trust that you made a good choice in whom you married, and you need to give them time to work through the things that you're wanting them to work through, and it will be in their own time, and they will do it. So, you know, you can have expectations, but the person actually doesn't owe you to be the way you want them to be, except for like normal things. Like the person has to be decent, kind, honest, and all of that, but the person doesn't have to be as tidy as you want them to be.
Yeah.
And they don't have to take you everywhere in the city too. They don't owe that to you, right? Like, so I think there's compromise, and it's very important to help everybody operate out of like how they're built and what works naturally for them. And that acceptance is very important in marriage. It'll save you stress, and it'll save your partner stress as well.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that. And, you know, expectations, I think when you're able to pinpoint what the expectation is that isn't being met, it's easier for you to address issues. So if you're in a relationship and you're finding yourself unhappy about something, maybe it's a good time to name what the expectation is and how it's not being met, so that you know what the real issue is and you can tackle it that way.
Yeah. And I now remember our mantra, our slogan.
What's our slogan?
I'll say it at the end.
We're done. So this is
if I say it, that's the last thing. So,
okay, well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening today. We had fun sharing our laundry with you. It's not dirty. It's just laundry with you. Thanks for listening. We hope you have a good rest of your day, afternoon, morning, night, whenever you're listening to this. Take care.
Yeah, so remember to leave a comment on Spotify, YouTube, any of the platforms in which you listen on.
Yeah.
Let us know how this episode was impactful to you, how meaningful it was. And then you can also leave a rating on Spotify, any of the platforms as well. Let us know how much you enjoy this and how much of why it's your favorite podcast, because we know you really love it. And yeah, as we always say at the end of every episode, keep making space for honest conversations. Take care.
Bye, everybody.